I'm a nuclear weapons specialist by trade, so I've been on PRP and everything else my entire career. I started having issues with depression a few years ago. I say a few, probably closer to 10 years ago. So suicide's been an option for me for some time. I've thought about it, I've practiced it, and I came really close a couple times. I hadn't gone and sought help for mental health because of the stigma around it. Being PRP, if you get taken off PRP and you're not allowed to work anymore, you're a non-performer at that point. So I've fought it, and I've never sought help. My most recent attempt or experience was July 6th, 2015. I was coming off a leave. I've been having a lot of issues. Work was piling up on top of me. I was feeling overwhelmed, and there was no outlet. I tried to take some leave and just relax, but when it came towards the end of that leave, it was overwhelming, just the thought of going back. To compound that, my spouse got an assignment to Korea, so I was losing a major part of my support system, and I was really scared. That night, was having some issues and couldn't sleep, so I got up and I was pacing around outside. That suicide showed up as an option again for me to stop the pain, to stop the anxiety and the anguish. And what it was I was going to commit police-assisted suicide. I was going to come on base and force a young cop to shoot me. For me, it seemed like a selfless act. I was going to free the Air Force of me as a burden. I was going to ensure my wife was taken care of financially. And that's where my thought process stopped, because it seemed like a release. At no point in time did I take into the fact the emotional trauma that I was going to cause my wife, my family, the emotional trauma that I was going to cause the poor airman that I was going to force to kill me, not to mention the people in my unit that did care about me, that do care about me. I came in and reported myself that next morning and asked to go to Kansas City to research psychiatric center. They have a military STAR program up there, which is 28 days of intense therapy. It's the hardest work I've ever performed in my entire life. It's a lot of introspective. A lot of learning goes on. The stigma of seeking mental health is horrible. If you don't go get help, if you don't make yourself vulnerable to someone to get the help, you're going to end up where I am. If I would have gone and sought help and gotten an individual treatment plan 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I wouldn't be in the situation I am now. I wouldn't be having all of these issues, and I wouldn't be being retired from the military. It's a vicious circle that people get into, and because of the stigma of mental health, I can tell you there's a whole slew of people out there that never go seek help because they're afraid of looking vulnerable, looking weak. Being vulnerable and seeking the help and opening up to others is actually more strength than just trying to push through it. It's just like when any supervisor, they tell their subordinate, if you screw up, come tell me about it, right? Well, I was screwing up and I didn't go seek help from anyone. And it snowballed into the point where I almost committed suicide multiple times. And really, having these cognitive distortions and having these mental illness issues, it's not because of personal weakness. It's not because there's anything wrong with you as a person.